Want to up your photo game? Well, today I have a treat for you. Today we're going to talk about the Radial Filter tool in Lightroom. Will Simpson here, and welcome to Exploring Photography. Today we're going to talk about some of the most powerful tools in Lightroom. And I'm not talking about the global adjustments, I'm talking about the local adjustments. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a global adjustment is an adjustment that affects the entire photo, like the tone curve or the saturation on the main page. A local adjustment are these beauties in the top right corner. I'm talking about the graduated filter, the radial adjustment, and the brush tool. Mastering these will allow you to create such uniqueness to your photos and really up your photo game. So for this video, we're going to be talking about the radial filter tool. So let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom and show you what I'm talking about. Here's this photo that I took a couple of weeks ago over at an Airbnb called Dream Rock Silo in Virginia. You can actually stay up in this silo here, which is really cool. But you can see here, the sky was incredible. I've already done a basic edit, but you can see, I mean, this is a beautiful photo. But I think with a few more adjustments, we can really make it pop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click up here in the right-hand corner, this circle here. We're gonna click on that and we're gonna make a radial filter. So we're just gonna create a circle. Now you can adjust the circle by clicking on these little squares. You can make it smaller. You can make it, narrower. You can make it less wide. You can adjust it. Now remember, radial means having to do with the radius of a circle. So the radial adjustment tool is going to be of or like a circle. Let's go ahead and up the exposure inside. So let's crank up the exposure. That way you can just see what happens. Now it can affect everything on the inside of the circle or on the outside. So if I scroll down here and click the invert button, it's going to apply that adjustment to everything on the outside of the circle. If I select the invert button, it'll affect everything on the inside. So let's go ahead and lower the adjustment and to about let's say 55, and then let's raise the white balance. There we go. Now we've created a circle that warms things up. So why is this tool so powerful? Well, you can use it to create an amazing quality or cast a certain effect on a certain portion of the photo and really give it that extra pop or extra zing that it's missing. So let's add a filter real quick. Let's make another filter here. Just as a tip, these filters work really good if you use them to enhance the natural light in the image. If you try and push something too far or try and do something that would be too unnatural or too uncharacteristic of the photo, then don't do it, because you want to push something that's natural enough to enhance it, but not far enough where people go, that looks pretty fake. Now this does take some trial and error. I myself am still perfecting it, and so don't worry about it if you do it a couple of times. You know, that's how you learn. Sometimes I'll even create a photo and I'll be like, man, this looks great, and people are just like, no, Will, no. Anyways, with this image, you can see that the sun is right here in the right corner. You can see the sun rays coming out, and you can see this orange glow here in the middle and then a little bit on the far right. So with a little bit of radial adjustment, we can really make those pop and really bring out the image. So let's put a radial filter right over where the sun is. Let's go ahead and brighten the exposure. And then I think we're gonna warm it up just a little bit, because remember, it's the sun. It's supposed to be bright and orange and warm feeling. So let's give it a little bit of a warmer feel. I think about 40. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of magenta just for the color. I think a nice 15 will look good. And then we're gonna add just a little bit of contrast. I think just about 14 will work. And boom, look at that. That makes it just so intense. I mean, it may not look perfectly real, but it looks real enough that someone could be like, that's a great photo. Now let's copy the radial adjustment, right click on it, press duplicate, and then we're gonna slide it over to the next point of light. Then we're gonna make it a little bit smaller, and we're gonna adjust it a little because the clouds are a little curved, move it, center it a little bit. And then remember, it's farther away from the sun, so the light, the effect, the warmness is gonna be slightly less. So you have to dull it down a little. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the exposure, let's say to about 0.40. We're gonna lower the warmness to maybe 25. And I think we'll leave the magenta and the contrast where it was. Maybe we'll lower the magenta to about 5. Beautiful. Now, it's less strong than the left side, but it's still intense enough to really get the color, the warmness of the sun from behind the clouds. Now here's where the magic happens. Notice how a little bit is bleeding onto the silo. Now if the sun was behind the silo, it wouldn't be showing on the face. So scroll down here to range mask. Let's turn it to luminance. Luminance is the color, so it affects the darks and the lights. What we're gonna do is we're gonna click show luminance mask. Now you can see the red here is where it's showing. Now it's not showing too much, but just a little. So if we pull this slider on the left side in, we'll pull it out of the dark. If we pull it from the right side in, we pull it out of the light. See how it completely disappears there. So we're gonna pull it from the right side, just a shade, to pull it off of the silo. And I think that's just plenty. So let's click the range mask. And you can see it's dark on this side of the silo, which is exactly how it would look. So it's natural, it's intense, and it punches you in the face because it's so beautiful. All right, let's do it one more time. Let's duplicate it. Let's slide this one over here. Let's rotate it because the clouds are moving up again. And then what we're gonna do, again, it's farther away from the sun. So we're gonna lower the effects. We're gonna lower this to say 10. We're gonna leave the magenta where it is, and the exposure we're gonna put at 25. So as you can see, it's really bright on the sun, it fades out, fades to darker. So that's exactly how it would look in real life. We're just intensifying those colors. If you scroll down here, this little switch here, if you click that, it'll show you the before and after of the radial adjustment tool, as long as you have it selected right here. So let's go ahead and click that. Before, after. Before, after. So you can see it's minimal, but man, does it add incredible depth and color to your image. And there we have it. With just 3 radial adjustments, we made this image so much more powerful and amazing. This tool is so powerful. I mean, you can add an entire sun to an image. You can create light cast down from the sky down onto someone. You could light someone's face in portraits, or you can darken all around them. It's totally up to you. One thing about this tool is you should be able to use at least one in every single image. And I challenge you to do that. I bet you your images become so much stronger. And that's it for this powerful tool. Now, most of the times when it comes with these things that are super powerful, people say use it sparingly or responsibly. But you know what? In this case, I say use it constantly, because the more you use it, the better you'll get at it. You know what? Go crazy with it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe because I do videos like this all the time. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the journey that is exploring photography. I forgot one thing, and that's feathering. Here we are in Lightroom, and I have this mask selected, and I have the luminance mask showing. If you work with the feathering slider here, if you go to the left, it becomes super harsh. And if you go to the right, it becomes super feathered. So it's just the transition between hard and light. So I usually keep it about 50, but you can adjust it as you want. Powerful.